Hey, this is Marco.
This is Jan.
We're from Witching Hour, and see you at the Tampa Morgue.
Retribution before they reach eternity shore.
night of the invasion, the ambush fire in the dark of night. All that remained was devastation. So he declared to take revenge even if he dies. Remembering the night of the invasion, the ambush fire in the dark of night. All that remained was devastation. So he declared to take revenge even if he dies. Even if he dies. He swore to himself by those he adores. Lethal retribution before they reach eternity's shores. A night under a crimson moon. A night under a crimson moon's lament. A night under a crimson moon.
What's up? This is Tony, and you're listening to the Tampa Morgue Season 3, Episode 134. And as always, from his studio deep in the bowels of Tampa Bay, Florida, Mr. Ed Webb. What is up, Webb?
Mr. Anderson. What's going on, brother?
Doing great, man, and glad to be back in the morgue. We opened up the show with the track A Night Under the Crimson Moon's Lament from the upcoming Witching Hour record, Descending Where Time Has Ceased to Exist. That'll be available May 22nd through Dying Victim Productions, and we'll be joined in about 20 minutes by Witching Hour vocalist and guitarist Jan and bassist Marco. But first, man, how's everything in the Bay Area, Mr. Webb?
It's good. It's going good. Countdown's
Kissing the loved
on.
ones goodbye?
Yeah, man. Countdown is on. Leaving a couple days, 3 or 4 days here. Getting on
That's
a plane.
right.
Leaving on a jet plane.
That's right, man. You're
Yeah.
going to be doing the, I know you love the airports and the security and stuff like that.
Oh,
So you'll be,
I'm actually wearing a sign that says I love proctal exams. So, hopefully they pull me aside. And unfortunately, Mark's the one who gets fucking pulled every time. Every time. He wears his belt and all that crap and he gets pulled. I don't know if it's, because of some
He's a
stuff he did in the
target.
past. I don't know. Whatever comes up when he scans. I don't know what it is, but every time. I remember when we were coming back from Europe, we almost missed our plane in Newark, which that fucking place. But we're walking out and Matt's like, dude, they're closing the doors. So we're like booking and I turn around and Mark's over there fucking with his hands up, being
Hands up.
fucking frisked. Hands up, don't shoot, being frisked. But and then he's putting his belt on slow, and I'm screaming, "Bro, we gotta go!" And when we got to the doors, the doors were actually closed when Matt got there. But the lady's like, "They got 5 minutes," and sure enough, we got on. But that would have sucked because who knows when I would have been home.
Now, what is your least favorite airport that you've been through?
2 of them so far has been Newark and Philadelphia.
Really? So it's in the States then?
Yeah. I haven't had any. I can't think of any issue. Oh, Chicago, all 3 of them, the worst. But you'll probably ask anybody; they'll tell you any time, especially for international. Now, that's international flights. I haven't had much issues with domestic, but every time I fly international, I remember we were going to Europe with when I was in Massacre, and we had our tickets 6 months in advance. We booked that tour like way in advance. And when I got up there, she's like, "Yeah, your seat's not available." And I was like, "What does that mean?" And they're like, "Well, they gave it to somebody else." And I'm like, "How do you give my seat to somebody else when I booked it 6 months ago?" And the lady's like, "I don't know what to tell you. That's how it works." And I'm like, I don't think that's how it works. And then I watched Terry get on the plane and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? But I guess some dude, some buddy from Philadelphia. They were going because that's where we were going from Tampa. They paid him $400 to get off the plane for me to get on. And,
Oh, nice.
I got
Hell of a
on,
deal.
and when I sat next to the guy's wife, she's like, "Yeah, I'm meeting him in a couple hours. He's gonna stay behind," and he made $400 cash, like, they
Oh,
give him
shit.
a and points for the next flight. So they,
That's how they
you know
do it.
so, yeah, so he, he was like, "Fuck it, I'll stay behind," but I got on, thank God, otherwise and then, of course, that same flight, Rick and Mike missed their plane. So, it was like a disaster, but that's the kind of shit we deal with, man. I mean,
I will
you've seen
say,
it.
in some Tampa love, that the Tampa airport is
Awesome.
actually a great airport. So anybody who has ever
Easy.
flown in or out of there, I mean, to me, it's probably one of the easiest. And I've been through Newark, I've been to the European airports, and
It's because it has its
um,
own each airline has its own tram to the hub, and
yep,
you're not going through everybody trying to go through one security and then go into your separate airports, each one has its own security station when you get across the tram. So,
yeah,
yeah, like, ta and even getting off the plane, when you get off the plane, you literally just walk right to the fucking tram, get on, you go right to baggage claim, and it's like cake. Um,
yeah. I
but
pop a
yeah,
few
Tampa's
Xanax, and the airport
great.
experience is not bad in Tampa.
Yeah,
It's
we got a 6-hour layover in fucking Washington, so that's gonna suck. But
well, it's speaking of monstrosity, we actually got some mail in, so I will read this because it kind of fits with this what we're talking about now, and because we're actually talking about the monstrosity tour, which Ed leaves on here in a few days. So we got a letter from a listener in Poland, Ed. So it's directed towards you. So I'm going to read that now. I'll let you answer that, and then we'll do what we do on this show. But it starts out, "Hello, Morgue crew. I'm a regular listener and always look forward to the next episode. This show really takes me back to the years I grew up listening to metal radio broadcasts. I wanted to also say, Ed, I think the new Monstrosity record, Screams from Beneath the Surface, is one of my favorite in the catalog. I wanted to ask if you can share what songs off the record you'll be playing on this upcoming European tour and some of the songs from past records. I will be in attendance in Poland. Hope to say hi and have you sign my new record. Thanks again for the Tampa Morgue." SK is the initials that he put from Poland. PS, will you have any Tampa Morgue shirts on the tour for sale?
wow, okay, let's see, how do I answer that first? Well, thank you for the shout out for the record. We have been getting some good love for it, and I'm blown away by that because was very, very, very unexpected. Let's see, songs we're playing. I will tell you what new songs we're playing. We are playing something from every record, so, uh, definitely Imperial stuff. I think honestly, the only record we're not playing something from this time is Rise to Power. Not sure why, but we just we threw in a couple of songs. One's a cover. I don't want to give it away. It's kind of a surprise, but you know it. But because I told you, but it's a cover of a
Killer
really
song.
really old school band. But yeah, as far as the new songs, we're playing the two of the videos we did. We're playing Banished to the Skies and the Colossal Rage. We did videos for both of those. The other one we're playing is a song called Spiral, and it's just a quick, fast, brutal song. I don't know how else to explain it. It's just fast and brutal. And then, of course, we're playing stuff off of In Dark Purity, the Angel's Venom, Destroying Divinity, stuff off. I mean, we're playing pretty much songs off of every record for
How long's
sure.
your guys' set?
It's about an hour. We use intros and stuff, so it's somewhere between an hour and 15 and an hour and 20, depending on everybody dying on stage. 'Cause you know how it goes. You start playing and it's timed, but then you need a breather because it's one thing to practice in a room, but that adrenaline kicks live. Sometimes you need an extra couple seconds between songs to recoup, especially in the beginning, because I'm sure it's gonna be fun. The first set we play is the festival, so our set's stripped back because you only get so much time. But then after that, it's full on um, go. And as far as morgue shirts, I can definitely bring some with me. I only have large and extra large, so if that's a size that fits you, definitely let us know, and I will definitely bring some with me to the shows. I can pack them in. I don't have a whole lot of room, but if you want them, I will definitely bring them for sure.
And he will sign your records for you. I'm his agent, so
Absolutely.
we'll
Oh
make
yeah,
sure that
the whole
happens.
band will do that. That's not even a problem, man.
Yes.
We will actually, we actually will have, I believe, I'm not sure. I think we will have signed copies, and if not, we are all there to sign. So we're no egos. We'll sign whatever you want.
So yeah, so we do thank you, SK, for the letter, and we do try to read them on here when possible. So Ed, we have that. We have a lot
And
of shit going on.
I'm looking forward to Poland too.
Yeah, I'm hoping to catch you there. I think me and a couple of the guys from Lucas here will be out there to at the show. So
That was
it's like
one
a
of the
4 or 5 hour drive.
Yeah, that was one of the places my mom was excited when we toured because she was born in Poland. So technically, when it was called Germany before Poland took it back, but she is Polish. Like I remember conversations with my grandmother, and I'd be like, they'd talk. My grandmother never really spoke English like very much, so I would hear Polish and then a word like dog. And then, I'm like, what? My uncle's sitting there and he understands it, but he never answered in Polish. He always answered in English. So I was just like, what is this? This is like insane. But yeah, that's
And I tell
how,
you, Poland, man, great food and beautiful women.
and those, the food we had there were that, you always get them. I can never remember what the fuck they're called. Uh, the burrito, the big fucking, you get them all the time out
Oh
there.
wait, no. Oh, kebabs. You're talking about the
Kebabs, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
They brought those for dinner, and I
Those things
saw
are
the place
great.
right outside the venue we were at, and I was like, "Man, I should go over there and get one of those because they looked huge." And the guy was just shaking his head. He goes, "No, no, no, wait." And then for sure, for dinner, that's what they gave us, and I was like, "This is some fucking." That was some of the better food.
Yeah, kebabs are killer, man. We have them
You
here,
know, it's
obviously,
bad
all over the place.
when you go to Italy and you think the pizza's gonna be good, and it was the worst pizza
I've always heard that. Yeah, I have not
out of
been
the
to
whole
Italy yet.
fucking Europe. It was the worst pizza.
Yeah, but
So,
Poland's
yeah.
no. Poland's killer, man, and I have to say too, Ed, you brought something up, but I do wanna personally say something. I wanna say congratulations, obviously, to Hungary for, your new freedom, I think it's killer. We don't talk about politics on the show. We try to always avoid that, but, definitely, happy for you guys. This week, Ed, I've been at shows too. I was actually at a show the other night over here in Conus. I saw Luke Display, a Sisypian, a Storm Gray. It was a killer show over at this new venue over here, over in Conus. And this weekend, I'm actually going to another event. I'm going to it's I don't know what they call it exactly, but the Metal Battle 2026, I think it's called. And it's I know Orb's playing, Crypts of Despair from Lithuania. So that's at Club Lemmy's in Kona. So I'm looking forward to that. So I've been going to some shows. It's the show season's coming. The bands are going to start calling through the summer, stuff like that. Kilcom Festival is stacked this year over here. So excited about that. So yeah, and then again, hopefully I'm gonna go out and see Ed over in Poland. So looking forward to that also. And Ed, we got a lot of shit going on. First thing I'm gonna mention is I'm gonna mention two things actually really fast. I'm gonna give a small little update on this. Me and Ed are working on a new project called Crooked Casket. Some of the guys involved with us. So we have Yarno from Yearn and Ex Barathrum and Graves on guitar, Satras from Luctus. He'll be handling some guitar duties. We had Lee Harrison lay the drums out for us on the first demo. And then, of course, Ed Webb on bass. I'm sure Ed will be throwing some vocals on there. I'll be doing vocals too. So we are excited about that. It's called Cricket Casket. We'll keep everybody updated once we get some music to put on the show. Also, upcoming guest wise, we have next week will be Transylvania out of Austria. We have S. Bellis and Possessor coming on the show. Following week will be Cruel Force, Slaughter, and Carnivore. Then the week after that, Ed, I've been kind of hinting to this since the Tampa Bay Metal Museum. Was one of my first goals when I got there to get this guest on the show. Scott Burns, obviously the legendary producer and engineer from Morrisound, worked on, just so many records from Asheron's Right to the Black Mass to Cancer to the Gory End, obviously Death. Obituary, Slowly We Rot, the first Deicide. The list is just crazy. We mentioned Leprosy. I think on that one, that was Dan Johnson, though, and then Scott was the engineer on that, and then produced by Dan Johnson, who I would love to get Dan Johnson on here. We just saw him a few weeks ago, too, over at the Tampa Bay Metal Museum. Another guy we'd definitely like to get on the morgue. But have to admit, Scott Burns, It's gonna be fucking awesome. Very excited. Scott is the man. Scott told me he would come on. I didn't bug him, and he got a hold of me, and we're making it happen. So I really appreciate that because you get a lot of handshakes and a lot of "Oh yeah, we'll do it," and they just don't fucking do it. But Scott Burns is the man, and Ed, something that we are definitely excited about on the show.
Yeah, I remember when, we were just sitting there and you were talking, and, I looked over and I saw Scott Burns standing there, and I tapped you on the shoulder. I go, "There he is, bro. Go get him."
I told
And
you
you
beforehand too.
fucking
What I was like, dude.
you said, if I see him, I'm gonna go," and that's why I said, "Go, there he is, dude," and you went right over there, and
Talk to him,
it was
switch
awesome.
numbers,
It was
made it
awesome
work.
because, like, even we were, which of course I, recorded with Jim Morris, but we were looking forward to seeing him too, but he,
He like
apparently
couldn't find a parking spot and
he
bolted,
made
right?
3 loops of the place and said, "Fuck this," and left. So, I don't blame him because it was crazy that it's weird that the place booked a tasting thing the same
Yeah,
day
that
as
was
this,
kinda not
because
a big parking lot. I mean,
you really thought it was gonna be, so I don't know, that was weird.
and it was packed. The Metal Museum was killer, and yeah, Ed's right. I told Ed the day before. I was like, dude, if I see Scott Burns, I need to get him on the Tampa Morgue,
We
and we
talked
just
to a
made it
bunch of
happen.
people that we could have brought on,
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
problem is that, we've talked to some people that said they would come on, and there's another 1 or 2 that I know will come on, and
yep.
they're big, old school big, and, I know they will. We
We just
just
don't
have to.
hound people. We just kinda wait for it to happen, make it work.
Well, we also haven't reached out because, he straight up told me, "Let me know when, and I'm there." So,
Yep.
but, it's just with me going on tour, we literally already had some in the can, ready to go, so, and again, I've never done this on the road, so it's gonna be interesting to see how this works, but I'll make it work because it's something that's, we're doing this every week, so we have to be consistent.
It'll be a good dynamic to have now with you on the touring. We've talked about, you've been waiting to go on this tour for a while. The new album's out, so I think it'll all line up nicely. And
Plus
yeah,
doing
man.
being on the same time zone as you within an hour or so,
Yes.
we can
It's
do
rare.
Instagram because,
Yes.
again, I don't run the Instagram, so I don't really have the credentials, which I can get them anytime, but, which I might for when I come back and do MDF this year. This way I
Yeah,
can
it'd be
go
awesome.
live and, film a little bit of stuff because it's easier to do it live than it is to try to upload it later because I think
Yeah.
it comes across better live. Um, but yeah, because I mean that night we're playing MD because literally when we come back 10 days later, I'm on a plane again to Maryland to play, uh, Maryland Death Fest, and we're playing with Napalm Death and, a bunch of killer bands, and it's just, and then what, 2 weeks after that, I'm at Milwaukee. So
Yeah,
it's
with
like
Acid
it's
Bath
like
and
yeah, Acid Bath is gonna be fucking the night we play is just Killer, Death Angel, Acid Bath, Obituary, Nunslaughter. I mean, just some killer
killer
fucking bands,
lineup.
man. So it's gonna
Yeah.
be just a stacked day, and, I'm just grateful I get to fucking do this because
No, I think it's killer, man. I'm excited, and I'm not even going on the tour. I'm so
well,
it's gonna be
you've been hearing about it
yeah.
long enough and, you know
Yeah, and I hope to catch some of the gigs. So we got that going. So again, Scott Burns. I mean, shit, definitely a bucket list guest. So we're looking forward to that. And Ed, speaking of guests, I'll let you explain what we're gonna do. We've been doing this on the show for the last 2 weeks. This is the third week we're gonna do it. It's gonna be a new thing that we do on the show each episode. But today it's gonna be Lee Harrison. So Ed, what do we do here?
Yeah, so basically, when we get guests on, we ask them a two-part question, I guess it would be, or I guess it's a two-part question, but basically it's Florida centric. What's your favorite band out of Florida? Doesn't have to be death metal. It can be any type of metal or music, whatever. I mean, I guess it could be anything, really.
And I will say this, Ed, at first, when I started asking this question to the guests, it's kind of evolved a little bit. So the older questions was kind of like, who do you feel is the most important, blah, blah, blah. But
Right.
eventually now I'm asked, it's kind of like, what's your favorite? So the question you're going to notice, the listeners, eventually as the episodes go on, the question kind of evolves a little bit. But Lee was one of the first people we asked. So it's, it's what it is.
And he was around from the beginning, so he has like kind of like Nasty Ronnie, just has that early day, centric kind of vibe. But yeah, so we asked them that, and then their favorite record that was out of Florida, because it's important because the two are not exclusive. You could literally say, and I'm just throwing out random names. You could say, Obituary is the best, the most important band to come out of Florida for whatever reason. But my favorite record is the first Deicide. And I'm just throwing out two randos.
Yep.
And then the next person would say Sabotage and Death. You know what I mean? It's like that. It's however you happen to hear Florida for the first time, depending on where you are in the world, and how old you are. Keep
Yep.
that in mind too. A younger guy will have a different source. Where Ronnie was throwing out Sabotage, where other bands, and we've had it, have used Nasty Savage was a jumping point. And me being from Florida, I've seen both. I watched Sabotage open up for Iron Maiden at the USF Sundome when they were on the Hall of the Mountain King tour. So that was huge because, first of all, Iron Maiden was huge. And then you're seeing this band come up here and they fucking absolutely ripped. And I was always a Sabotage. Sirens is probably one of the most
Great
underrated
stuff.
records.
Great, yeah.
But but I wasn't a huge Sabotage fan. If I were to be asked, I listened to Nasty Savage more than I listened to Sabotage. But they were both great. You know what I mean? So everybody's answer is going to be different. Lee's was great. So I hope everybody digs it because,
And I will say too, is we don't this answers you guys are hearing on these episodes when we do the interviews with the musicians, for the full episodes with them. Because Lee was on episode 123 and episode 124. We broke it into two because it was an 8-hour deep dive into Lee's history, his time with Malevolent Creation, Terrorizer, Midnight, and of course the history of Monstrosity. These answers that you're about to hear, you won't hear on those episodes. We put them to the side, so they're just, basically for this. So we're going to play that now. This is Lee Harrison on basically who he thinks is the most important band to come out of Florida and the most important record, I think, is what we asked him. So, and we'll do that, and then we'll be right back on the Tampa Morgue after this. Okay, Lee, in your opinion, what was the most important band out of Tampa, and what would you say is the most important Tampa Bay record?
Were we talking Tampa Bay or are we talking Florida?
Let's say Florida, actually. We could do that.
Because I was going to say Leprosy. I think Death Leprosy, just because, or even Scream Bloody Gore, because even though he was in San Francisco at the time, but I think it really separated. Even though I know a lot of people are arguing about Seven Churches being the first death metal album. I think you could argue Scream Bloody Gore. Or I think that was kind of like the considered album before was Scream Bloody Gore, just because it was the first death metal album, or that was considered the first death metal album before. Now people argue that Possessed, Seven Churches, which whatever. But I would say Leprosy just because it brought in Morrisound to the equation, and even though Sabotage and Nasty Savage had recorded at Morrisound, I think that brought Morrisound more into focus because Death was a lot more extreme, and it was all of a sudden there was like a polished version of that extreme sound, and I think that brought Morrisound up several notches at the time, especially. And then I would say it's a tie between Slowly We Rot and Altars of Madness. Because same thing, Obituary, would they, had the Roadrunner deal, and that really brought things, to it. It looked like things were going to actually go in now there's actually like a Florida scene. And, with Morbid Angel, that album was, it was pretty revolutionary as far as drumming and blast beats and just that evil tone and whatnot. So, I would say those three albums all together, but, if I had to pick one, I would say Leprosy. And then, I'd say Slowly We Rot, Obituary, and Morbid Angel, Altars of Madness, tie.
What about most important band, would you say, out of that area? We'll say Florida also. For extreme metal, I guess you'd say extreme music.
Yeah, Death and Morbid Angel, I would have to say. I don't know if you can pick either one.
And there you go. Again, if you want to hear the full interview with Lee Harrison, it's episode 123 and 124. And make some time for it because it's a long one.
It was a long one.
Yeah, it was definitely. And Ed, I say we, run the promos and get everything going because we have the guys from Witching Hour coming on here in about probably like 15 minutes. So I say we get all that out of the way. What do you think?
Let's do it. Get them on and don't keep them waiting.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to...
Guest waiting. This is an Outback. You don't have to take a number and wait for the little buzzer to
Elder Ford.
flash. Motherfucker.
Yeah, this is an Elder Ford.
The gift that keeps on giving.
The gift that keeps on giving. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to run a promo for Circle Rehearsal Studios out of St. Petersburg, and then we're going to play a track from Witching Hour. We're going to play Burn the Witch from the Rise of the Desecrator record that came out on Evil Spell Records in 2009. And then we're going to do... Basically, we're going to do the promo for the Morgue, upcoming releases, and then we're going to do shows, and then we'll get to the guys from Witching Hour. What do you think, Ed?
Boom. Let's do it.
Okay, we're going to start out with the promo for Circle Studios, and then go into some Witching Hour, and then we'll be back on the Morgue after this.
Hello, Tampa Bay Morgue listeners. This is Joe from Circle Rehearsal Studio, Tampa Bay's rehearsal giant with 33 years of service. We know what you need to rock. Large, clean, quiet, cool, smoke-free, isolated rooms with the best gear at a musician-friendly price of $25 an hour. Professional, courteous, easygoing environment. Recently upgraded and remodeled with top-quality gear: Marshall, Ampeg, Pearl, Tampa, JBL, Yamaha, PPE, and more. We have the experience and the gear to provide you with the best possible rehearsal experience at the best price. Just completed and soon to open Circle's demo studio for your recording needs. From laying down drum tracks to complete projects, we have you covered at a musician-friendly price. Also in the work is the Pro Rehearsal Room, specially appointed and stocked with the best gear at nicely competitive rates. Our contact number is 727-546-8930. Our address is 10841 75th Street, Seminole, Florida, 33777. We have 7 large rehearsal rooms. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Thanks.
Yeah.
And we are back on the morgue, and that was Burn the Witch from Witching Hour from the band's 2009 debut full-length, Rise of the Desecrated, and we'll be joined by Witching Hour's bassist Marco and the guitarist vocalist Jan here in about 15 minutes. And if you are new to the morgue, welcome to the show. This is episode 134, season 3. You can go back and listen to 133 past episodes for free wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can also email us at thetampamorgue@gmail.com or message us on the official Tampa Morgue Instagram page. The Instagram page is the best place to keep up with the latest info on upcoming guests and anything morgue related. We are in no way influencers. We are just here to talk about the history of the metal underground with the artists who are part of it. Here on the morgue, you'll find interviews with artists like Gene from Perdition Temple, Malefic Throne, Angel Corpse, and Hexorcist, Pat from Hell Witch, Glenn Destructor from Australia's Destructor, King Fally from Deceased in October 31, Chris Volcano from Abominator, Cemetery Urn, Denouncement Pyre, and Ex-Destroyer 666. Magnus from Aberration, Ex-Condor, and Mayans Hill. Vincent Crowley from Acheron, the Vincent Crowley Band, and Ex-Nocturnus. Jeff Manis from Venom and Venom Inc. Jeff was on the show for about 5 hours. It's a deep dive into the history of Venom, if you haven't heard it. Definitely recommend checking it out. We had Anti, a.k.a. Necroterror, from Cadaveric Incubator, ex-Slugother, and Satanic Warmaster on the show. Sadistic Fornicator and bassist to One from UK's Necromaniac. Chris Reifert from Autopsy, Eat My Fuck, Abscess, and Violation Wound. We had Eric from Goat Semen out of Peru. Ed Miller of Negative Plane. We had Daniel Avenger on here from Nocturnal, Angel of Damnation, and Black Priest of Satan. Ritual Butcher of Finland's Ark Goat. Yano of Anal Vomit out of Peru. Heimland out of Norway. Knife out of Norway. We had Ronnie Palmer from Malevolent Creation, Blood Messiah, and Perdition Temple on the show. Jesse Jolly from Malevolent Creation and Blight Mess. We had Lord Sabathon on from Slaughter Messiah, Morbid Death, Enthroned, and Heinous. Adam Scott of Cardiac Arrest. Crusher of Finland's Morgul. John Berry of Slaughter Messiah, Ancient Rites, and Nocturnal. Noella of Hexea out of Texas. Matt Bishop from Human Artifacts and Lividity. We had Yarno of Urn, Graves, and Ex-Barathrum on the show. John Walker of Cancer. Rob from Lucifericon, Ex-Destroyer 666. Martin Missy from Protector. Phantom out of Mexico. Luciferian Rights out of Mexico. Nige Rocket of Onslaught. We also had Simo on from Finland's Flame and Exodorier. We had Tony Thomas on from Witch Vomit and Torture Rack. Dawn of the Dead from Nunslaughter and Satanic Threat. We played a new Nunslaughter song last week. We had Chuck Billy on from Testament for 2 hours. Killer interview. We had Sergeant Salston on from Deathhammer. Infernal and Odin from Disaster. Jamie Bailey from Brodequin and Liturgy. Morbid Saint was on the show. Blood Serpent was on the show out of Vietnam. Ryan Waste from Bat and Municipal Waste. Witch Trap from Columbia. Tony Dolan from Venom Inc., Venom and Adamcraft. Snowy Shaw from King Diamond, Merciful Fate, Notre Dame. We had Harry Quokenon on from Hood and Menace, Hail Conjurer, Horse Latitudes, and Hollow Woods. We had W. Whore Preacher on from Vomit Angel and Mask of Satan. We had Alessio on from Violenter, Hobbs Angel of Death, and the Mentors. And we had Dallas Taller Wade on here a few times from Nile and Narcotic Wasteland. We had Hana on from Osagrum. We had Nasty Ronnie on from Nasty Savage for a couple hours. Takes a deep dive into the history of Nasty Savage and the Tampa metal scene. Terry Butler from Obituary, Death, Massacre, Inhuman Condition. We had Mike Deanna on, who put out the Boiled Angel comics. It was the first American to go to jail for his artwork. They tried to blame him for the Ted Bundy murders in Gainesville in the late 70s. We had Lee Payne on from Clove and Hoof, John Gallagher from Raven. We had Bloody F. Mess on, the punk musician who used to play with G.G. Allen. We had Yuha on from Death Chain and War Moon Lord. Kev Desecrator from Destroyer 666, Venefiction, and Profanation. David Howard Thornton, who played Art the Clown in the Terrifier films. Kyle Thomas at X-Hoarder. Last time he was on, we took a deep dive into the 1990 Slaughter and the Vatican record. We had Brian Kaz on from Melting Rot. Last week we had Panzer Kampfwagen on from Belgium's Possession. We had Lord Ahriman on from Dark Funeral. And those are just some of the guests. You can find many more wherever you listen to your podcast for free. For those who ask how you can help support the morgue, we have official Tampa Morgue shirts for sale. $25 plus shipping, and we do ship to Europe and the States. Email us or message us on the Instagram to get yours before they're gone. What I'm going to do now is mention upcoming releases, then we'll mention shows, and then we'll get to our guests, the guys from Germany's Witching Hour. And I'm going to start out with Evil Warriors, the German thrash metal band. They're putting out a self-titled record on Into Endless Chaos Records out of Germany. Evil Warriors formed in 2007, and the band's first release was a 2008 Shut Up and Die 6-song demo. The band released their debut full-length in 2011 titled Expressions of the Endless Dreams. Evil Warriors features members past and present of Bloody Vengeance, Vent, David Lee Roth, and Lords of the High Ones. The new self-titled record will have 5 tracks and come out on April 13th. And next we'll move on to the split between Pinnacle out of the Netherlands and Italy's death thrash metal band Deathfucker. This is being released through Unholy Domain Records out of Italy. This split will have 9 tracks in total, and Pinnacle will be contributing 5 tracks and Deathfucker will be contributing 4. The split is titled Spawn of the Graveless Deity, and it came out on April 13th. Next, we're going to return to Germany with the black thrash metal band Necromancer. Necromancer is releasing an album called Unholy Trinity. It's coming out on Evil Spell Records out of Germany. Necromancer formed in 2016. The first release was a demo titled Awakening of the Evil Forces that came out in 2019. In total, the band has released 1 demo, 1 split, 2 live albums, and this will be the band's second full-length and a follow-up to their 2023 album, Arrival of Death. Unholy Trinity has 13 tracks and will be out April 17th on Evil Spell Records. Next, we're going to go to the death metal band out of Tennessee, Piss Rot. Absolute Form is the name of the record. It's coming out on Iron Fortress Records out of Kansas City. Piss Rot formed in 2015, and the first release they were on was actually a split in 2022 with Ritual Fog out of Tennessee. They also put out an EP in 2022 titled Piss, Vile, and Gunk. This will be the band's second full-length. Absolute Form will be available April 17th on Iron Fortress Records. And we'll finish the release section with the Italian black death metal band Necromorbid. They were actually guests on our show, episode 91. Necromorbid is releasing an album called Ceremonial Demon Slot on Iron Tyrant Records out of Italy. Necromorbid formed in 2015. Their debut was a 2016 full-length. And this will be the band's third full-length. They were also part of a split in 2025. Ceremonial Demon Slot has 9 tracks and will be available April 17th. Okay, Ed, let's do some shows and let's get the guys from Witching Hour on here. You want me to start out with the shows, what I have?
You do that, and then I'll fill in the gap of what I have.
Okay, here, let me see if I could do these in order, actually, because that never seems to work. But I'm going to start out with Sunday, April 12th, Halloween, Beast in Black at the House of Blues in Orlando. And then Tuesday, April 14th, Dark Tranquilities playing at the Beecham Theater in Orlando. And Wednesday, April 22nd, Gatecreeper, Eternal, and Dying Remains. That's at the Conduit in Orlando. And the only thing else I have left is the Tampa Bay Metal Meeting 2026. It's Malevolent Creation, Psycho Tribe, Nocturnal Dawn out of Orlando, Eska out of Georgia, Dead Alive out of Nashville, Tennessee, Ramtha out of St. Pete, Endoris out of Tampa, and Endira out of Savannah, Georgia. And that is April 18th at the Brass Mug. Ed, what do you have for shows?
Yeah, the only 2 I have, they're a little bit out, but I'll mention them anyway. May 8th. At the Orpheum in Tampa, Napalm Death and Dead Guy. That will be a killer show. If you've ever seen Napalm Death, you know they always come ready to fucking crush. And I'm lucky to be playing with them twice this year, so should be killer. And the other one is on May 30th, a little farther out, but don't want to miss this one. If you like old school thrash, Death Angel is playing the Orpheum. They're doing their whole Act 3 record. I was a fan of that record. I don't know, some people didn't like it, but I definitely dug that record a lot.
I dig it too. So,
and a lot of people didn't like Frolic. There were some good songs on there, but coming off of Frolic, this was definitely, killer record. And touring with them is Violence and Incite, and that's Saturday, May 30th at the Orpheum. And that's what I got.
Yeah, so there you go. There's shows, and and what I say let's get to the guests.
Let's do it. We've been talking long enough. Nobody wants to hear us
we had
anymore.
A busy intro today, so we're going to play some Witching Hour before we bring the guys on from Witching Hour. We're going to play the track From Beyond They Come that comes off of the 2018 A Silent Grief Shadowing the Passing Moon record, and we're going to be joined by Jan and Marco from Witching Hour after this track. So, this is Witching Hour with From Beyond They Came, and we'll be back on the Tampa Morgue with the guys from the band.
What's up, guys? This is Ed from the Morgue, and if you're like Tony and I and dedicated to working out, and you're from Tampa or will be visiting Tampa, I'm going to let you in on the best-kept secret gym in the area, Tampa Family Fitness on the corner of Bears and Florida Avenue. And unlike the big box gyms where you're just a name and a number, the owners, Sarah and Eddie Amaral, have created a community where you're not just another face lost in the crowd. They also have, hands down, the best trainers in Tampa, with Coach J, Jared Perea, who I've personally witnessed take his clients to award-winning bodybuilders. Not to mention this dude is an absolute beast himself. So if you want to get in the best shape of your life, this is definitely the place to do it, and these are the people to do it with. So if you want a no-frills gym experience that I can only describe as old-school Arnold Schwarzenegger on Venice Beach, with no fancy machines, just get in, get your ass kicked, get a crushing workout, then you want to go to Tampa Family Fitness at 14968 North Florida Avenue. And if you're a band that's traveling to Tampa and playing the Orpheum or the Brass Mug, this is literally less than a 5-minute drive from either location. There's a QR code on the door. Just scan it, pay $10, and you're good to go for the whole day. Or if you're in Tampa and you want to see what all the hype's about, stop in and get a day pass. And make sure you tell them Ed sent you from the Tampa Morgue.
And that was Witching Hour with From Beyond the Came. And we are joined by the band's bassist, Marco, and vocalist and guitarist, Jan. How you guys doing?
Yeah, fine. Pretty good, yeah.
How's everything in Germany this time of year? I know the weather's changing a bit.
Weather shitty as it should be in Germany. All good.
We appreciate you guys coming on the show. I know you guys have a new album coming out, which we'll talk about. We just played a new song that's coming out today from you guys to open up the show. And the last show you guys did, it was February 21st with Hellish Crossfire and Midnight Prey.
Correct.
Yes, that's right.
Avalon.
Do you guys just been like prepping the record after that?
Actually, we didn't do much after the concert. I think we had like one rehearsal, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, just adjusting to getting songwriting together again, and yeah, it always takes time. Like after an album, you know how it is to get into it again.
To start out the show, man, let's find out where each of you are born and what year you guys are born. We can start
Right.
with you, Marco, if you want.
Yeah, sure. I was born in southwestern Germany, where I still live, or where we still live. And yeah,
What year was it that you were born?
1990.
And how about you, Jan?
Yeah, I'm also from Western Germany. I was born 1992, and yeah, we all still live in Western Germany.
Jan, we'll start with you. Were you surrounded by music growing up?
I would say in my household, yeah, my mother is she sings in a choir of the church, so that may be a point. But I think we don't we're a very musical household. I always wanted to play drums, but we lived in an apartment with different people living there, so I can't play because it was too loud. So I had to use another instrument. So I get on using the guitar.
And how about you, Marco?
Yeah, I think it wasn't a very musical household, like music playing on the radio and stuff and in the car, but never like nobody talked about like latest records that came out or something, or any classics that, yeah, just like I think casual music consumption.
And do you remember, Marco, the first piece of music that caught your attention growing up, like the first band or the first song where you kind of had some interest?
Maybe seeing The Lion King in cinema and all those songs. I think that was pretty impressive as a kid when it came out, 1998, I think.
How about Jan?
Oh, that's pretty difficult.
You on the spot here.
Yes. Yeah, first record.
Or did you have like a favorite first band as a kid?
Yeah, first band I would say Metallica. When it goes into heavy metal. Before that, I don't think I was really listening that way into music just by the way. But a friend of mine, a schoolmate, he was from a very musical household, and she said to me, "Yeah, listen to this," and he gave me the Metallica recordings, and so I got my interest into music.
And what's the first record you ever owned?
On LP or CD,
Just whatever, a tape, whatever. The first, actually one that was yours that you purchased with your own money.
okay, I know that the first LP was Under the Sign of the Black Mark for Beffery, and my first CD. Maybe it was Green Day, I think.
Hey, you're 90s, it makes sense. How about you, Marco?
Maybe Böse Onkels, which is a German band, or some other punk, or yeah, punk, German punk maybe, because I listened to a lot of German punk in the beginning from coming from my sister. Maybe something like that.
And what's the first concert you went to?
For me, it was Slayer actually in 2006. For you as well? Yes, yes. Yeah, we were there together.
Oh, nice. Was there, like, a decent selection of record stores for you guys growing up too?
Mm, not so much. It was more like record fairs, I guess, for us. Like Media Markt. Yeah, just stores and like Sasha, where his father worked. It was like a small mall, and they had a record store there, and he was pretty good friends with the guys in the store. So Sasha had always good contacts to, like, he could just borrow CDs and stuff before we bought them, so we could test them. And before having YouTube and all that stuff, that was pretty helpful. And yeah, I think that was our store more or less. And then record fairs came, and as we started to listen to more vinyl stuff.
And when did you guys meet?
I met Sasha in elementary school, like we go way back. And yeah, we were friends all around, all through our childhood. But then when we started playing music together, it kind of went more like focused on that. And then we met Jan, like for the band, like searching for people, and then we came across him online, I guess. Yes, yes.
I know, you had done some live work, Marco, and stuff with other bands, but have you guys been in other bands prior to Witching Hour, or is that pretty much both of your guys' first bands?
Yes, I would say so. Um, yes, I played together with some schoolmates, but I wouldn't call this a band. Just experimenting, playing together. So for me, the first band was Witching Hour.
Yeah, for me too.
And when do you guys, I mean, let's actually we can start with you, Jan. When did you guys first start like learning about your own, like the whole German history in metal, the underground and stuff? Bands like Disaster and Creator and Sodom.
I think that was around the time we started the band, more or less. Yeah, we were searching for like old school thrash stuff, and then when we discovered Nocturnal, Disaster, Hellish Crossfire was coming out at that time. Old, yeah, and they kind of open up, like diving deeper into the German stuff and old school stuff in general, and that's where we knew that's kind of the kind of way we have to go further.
And Marco, what's the first instrument you picked up? Was it the bass?
No, actually, I played keyboards for some years when I was a kid. Like I had maybe lessons for a year or two, and then it kind of bored me. And then a friend of mine, he got a guitar, and I pretty much liked it. But at that time, everyone was playing guitar, so I kind of didn't want to do the same. And then I heard it was a live bootleg of Metallica from '83, and I heard the bass solo on that, and it's still one of my favorite recordings of Cliff Burton, where he has all the delays and wah stuff going on, and I yeah, just wanted to do that. And so I started playing bass and discovered pretty quickly that a real bass doesn't sound anything like that.
And what was your first bass?
Uh, Jazz bass copy.
Are you
cheap one.
self-taught?
Yeah, self-taught.
And Jan, what's your first instrument you picked up? Was it the guitar?
No, it was actually bass. I played it for 2 years, I think. But when I met Sasha and Marco, and they said they need a guitarist, and so I switched to guitar. I couldn't really play, but yeah, I've just done it, and
We couldn't either, so it was a fix. It fit right away.
Was vocal something you considered also, or that just kind of happened?
no, they searched for vocalist, and so I came there and we tried it out. They said they have to think about it. They said they had also another person coming, trying to sing, but I think this person never actually went there to the rehearsal, so I got the job.
Oh, you're in then, yeah, right? I mean,
Yeah,
you know.
the other guy has still to show up.
If he does, is Jan in trouble?
Maybe, let's see.
You guys were what, 14 and 15 when you guys first started jamming together?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Jan was 14 when we met. Me and Sasha, we were 16. And our drummer at that time was also 14, I think.
God damn. Yeah, I could tell you our ages. I could tell you Ed saw Cliff Burton play, so that should tell you something right there. Ed, what was the famous picture over in Tampa of Metallica that you were at the show? What was the famous
Monsters of Rock.
The Monsters of Rock over in Tampa?
Yeah.
There's a famous photo where Metallica's standing on the bleachers and there's like you can see the crowd down below. Yeah, Ed was in that crowd, so that dates us a little bit.
I'm actually in the picture chasing him from the back because we thought we could get to him.
So that was many years ago, but back in the days, you guys are also like influenced, like early when you guys are first starting, you guys are really influenced by the new wave of British heavy metal, right? And early black metal, traditional heavy metal, and this bleeds into what you guys are creating early on.
Yeah. I think we always tried some more melodic stuff, like also in the beginning, like if you listen to the first demo, it starts with an instrumental intro with some melodies. I mean, it's not as it was later, but we tried to do that from the beginning, more or less. And then as we progressed as players and knowledge grew, that worked a little better later on. But I think that it always influenced us, kind of.
And where are you guys jamming at early on? Like, where's you guys rehearsals at?
In the garage.
Yes.
Very beginning. In the garage of our drummer. But that didn't work out very, very well because he had neighbors.
That's how it always works, yeah.
And parents. And then we got a rehearsal room, like pretty close to my parents' place.
Yes.
And Sasha's, and Jan came there by train.
Yes, it was a rearranged squash hall, I think.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, a squash. I just learned about that when I came to Europe.
Yeah, that was pretty cool to have a real room where you can play any time, as long as you want, as loud as you want, and do other stuff that 16-year-olds like to do.
Are you guys jamming cover songs at first, or are you guys already starting to write originals?
No, we started playing covers of Metallica, Slayer.
Yeah, the usual suspects, like easy songs, but still what we wanted to do.
What's the first song you guys learned how to play together?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, I think it was Mandatory Suicide by Slayer.
Yeah, that's possible. Maybe that was the first song we got together, everything like with vocals and guitars and everything.
What's the first witching hour song that you guys actually wrote?
Hard to tell. I think it was one that never got released because on the first demo it wasn't all the songs we had at that time. We had like 7 or 8 songs when we recorded the demo, but then because we recorded it all by ourselves and we had no clue what we were doing. At one point we like decided, all right, let's just do 4 songs. It's way easier. And yeah, maybe I think it was one of those that got kicked out.
Yeah, I think the title of the song was Screams of Torture, if I remember it right.
Possible, yeah. Screams of Torture or Hands of Hell. I don't know. One of those.
And who came up with the name Witching Hour in the band?
I'm not sure. Let's say Sasha.
And the logo was done by Pino of Witchburner?
No, just the new one.
Yes.
We had the first logo. I've done the first logo, but it didn't appear on any release. It just was on some early posters of our first gigs. And then for the demo, we got a friend doing a logo, who is still doing stuff. He's called it Infected Arts now, and he's still doing stuff, good stuff. And then yeah, after the second album and the EP, we switched the logo, and that's done by Pino.
You guys are in your mid-30s now. Could you guys
Yeah.
imagine that like 20 years later you guys would still be doing this?
At that point, I don't know if when we started the band, if we had any real plans for future. We just wanted to make the music we love. Yeah, writing songs, releasing a record. Yes, that was the goal. But I don't think we thought about what is happening in 20 years.
Yeah, I think it was always more about what's the next step. Like, all right, we've written a song now. What to do next? Let's write another song and trying to get a gig. But just never thought about what's in 20 years.
Yeah, when you guys first start out, what, 2006, 2007, who are some of the bands you guys are hanging out with in the local scene there?
There were very, very little bands, very few. Banished Force was one. We were at a show of them, like, and they were pretty much doing pretty cool stuff at that time. Like, old school Creator, old school Destruction covers, and also their first demo we got done was pretty cool. And they were like a year older than us, I guess, at the time. So little further with the band, and that was pretty cool. And then there was Lament, which we played our second gig with, or third, which was
Death metal band.
technical, pretty technical death metal band. They were pretty good, actually, way better players than any of us. And then who else? There wasn't too much going on. Still, like today, there's not much going on in our area.
And you guys did your first demo, what, 2007, correct?
Yeah.
And when you guys, how long did it take you guys to get to, what is it, 4 songs on that one?
Yeah, 4 songs.
How do you guys record that? Is that in your
Yeah,
practice space with the 4-track?
Yeah, we got the 4-track. That was pretty nice, but
I didn't think
it
that
didn't work.
worked out.
It didn't work out for us. We couldn't manage to get recording done. And then we were like in a week long in the rehearsal room trying to figure out how we get this done. And I think in the end,
We used a little mixing board and a computer, I think.
little mixing board, and then 3 microphones playing, 4 microphones playing live the instrumental stuff, and then vocals as overdubs. yeah, that was how it went.
And you guys record that yourselves. And how'd you guys distribute those? You guys just make copies, give them out at shows and stuff?
Yeah, just sending them wherever. And there was a forum back then that was pretty good for everything, actually, for concerts, organizing concerts, getting connections, yeah, meeting people. And that was where we distributed our demo.
How many copies did you guys do of the original, the first one?
I don't know. I don't think we limit it.
Yeah, maybe 400 or 500 in the end. We just sold them, made new ones, sold them. I think no one ever got a picture of how many went.
I'm gonna play a track from it now. I'm gonna play Vlad the Impaler. Anything you could tell us about this one?
Yeah, one of the better songs from the first demo, I guess. I think you wrote the lyrics. Yeah.
Yes, about the historical person of the Dracula saga, the Impaler. Yeah, the lyrics very simple about he impaling people. Yeah, that's
101.
Yeah. Are you handling all the lyrics early on?
No, I think it was shared.
Yes. We still sharing writing lyrics. I think that was the early days also.
I'm going to play that track now. I'm going to play Vlad the Impaler off the Arrival of the Dark Throne demo from 2007, and we'll be back with the guys from Witching Hour after this track on the Tampa Morgue. And that was Vlad the Impaler from Witching Hour from the 2007 demo. And when is the first official Witching Hour show?
It was 2007. Can't tell you the date now, but yeah,
Was with
pretty
Banished Force.
yeah with mentioned Banished Force. Pretty close to the release date of the demo, I think. It was,
What's some of the venues in your like that time period, 2007? What's some of the venues you guys are playing in the local area?
just youth centers? Yes.
Very small.
Yeah, very small gigs, just self-organized by bands and youth centers.
Yeah, I think we have in our rehearsal room. They are singing the flyer of the first concert, and the prices for entry were 50 cents. But I think the more important thing was that beer was 50 cents also.
And what is beer now? Because I know,
Yeah, €3.50.
When you're
That's-
lucky.
Yeah, exactly. And are you guys like very active early on, 2007, 2008 period? Are you guys doing a lot of shows or?
Yeah, not a lot. No, maybe once a month in the beginning. And yeah, it was pretty shitty shows at the beginning because like we didn't know
What we are doing.
what we are doing. Yeah, that's true. And yeah, we didn't know any bands. Like there were no bands in our area except for some. And it took us like a year or something, like 10 gigs maybe, until we like realized, all right, we have to go a little farther into Germany to play with cool bands. And yeah.
And you guys go right back into the studio. Well, I mean, you guys are self-recording still, right? September of 2008, you guys do the Rise of the Desecrated, and that's again at the rehearsal room?
No.
We recorded the album twice. The first record was Stolen. The first one we recorded above a workshop. There was a friend of ours who had there a rehearsal room with his band, and he did also record by himself. And so we get there and we recorded the first version of Rise of the Desecrated, and we were nearly finished. And we what was to do was mixing and mastering, and we said, yeah, okay, we finished the instrumental part and the vocals, so let's make a little days pause, and then we come back mixing it. And few days later, he tells us that the whole equipment was stolen. There was no guitars, no amplifiers anymore, no computer.
Yeah.
So everything was away.
Jesus
And-
Christ.
Yes.
Yeah, and then Witch Burner who were at the on the same label as us at the time, and we got to know them. And the guitar player, he said, "Come to our place and we do it again."
Oh, you worked with
Because
Andy,
in-
right?
Andy, he was recording, and Simon, the guitar player, he was like close to us, and yeah, he was or the person we had the most contact with. And yeah, he said right away, like, come to my place. We'll do it again. We'll do it properly, because they had everything set up in their rehearsal room, because they were like recording themselves for some time. And yeah, that was pretty cool to have the opportunity. And
And what on Rise of the Desecrated, you had what? You had 4 tracks from the demo, right? From the 2007 demo, and then it was 8 tracks in total.
yeah, that's
Yes.
right.
And who
For
did the
new
album
ones.
cover for you guys?
It was the girlfriend of
Toxic Holocaust.
Joel Grind.
Oh, Joel Grind's, yeah. Haley?
Ghost. Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
yeah, she did that. I think she did two because our label guy he ordered one without asking us about the scene, the motive, and she did it. And we said no,
We didn't like.
no way. And then she had to do another one. But Toxic Holocaust used that cover for
a T-shirt.
no for a single as well.
Okay.
I think Gravelord is it? It's
Oh
called.
yeah, with the I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, that should have been actually the first album cover for us. But
That's kind of like I don't know if you guys know, but the old what is it, Ed? Reigns and Cause of Death are supposed to be the opposite covers. I
Yep.
think Sepultura was supposed to have the Cause of Death cover, and then the vice versa on that. So
no way.
yeah. So yeah, if you ever get a chance, look that up. Cause of Death was supposed to be a Sepultura album cover, and then beneath was supposed to be Obituary, and I think they just switched it up. And how does the relationship start with Evil Spell Records?
Oh, that well, we played a concert in Eastern Germany, and there was a guy working at Undercover Records, and he tells the owner of Undercover Records that our gig was cool and he should sign us. I think that's
Yeah, that's
story.
more or less how it happened. Yeah, that was our first real cool gig. With Disaster, Hellish Crossfire at the time, and first time meeting those people and like playing with really cool bands that we were listening to and looking up to. And then he saw us play and recommended us to the label, and that's
Was that like a little intimidating at first when you guys are young and you guys are around like the guys from like Disaster and bands like that, who are cool guys? We've had Odin on here and Infernal and stuff. But I mean, was that for you guys when you guys are first starting to mingle with these bands? Was that a little intimidating?
absolutely yeah. There were younger bands there, and with some people of the bands and a lot of the guys that came to the show from also like other parts of Germany. We were already in contact from the forum, and but I don't think we talked to any of the Disaster guys or like
No.
which Hellish Crossfire. We talked to them, and Ziggy, who was the coolest guy ever, he talked to us like
Like the long-term friends.
yeah right away. That's what I remember. And but yeah, the other guys were pretty intimidating.
And that album comes out, Rise of the Desecrated comes out. It's actually released in 2009. And it's the first time on vinyl for you guys.
Yes.
That's right.
So how cool was that? I mean, I'm a big vinyl guy. Do you guys have a format, a preference, and how is it to see your guys' logo on a 12-inch?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
very impressive.
the best thing ever. Best thing ever. Still
Yes.
waiting for the vinyl of the new album, and it will be the best day of the year, I guess, when it
And
arrives.
some great artwork, which we'll talk about too eventually on that one. But you guys put a tape version out also on Dying Victims Productions. You guys had some covers on there too, right? You had a Slayer cover, a Sarcophago cover, and a Goat Lord cover.
Yeah, that was for the Dying Victims version. That was we recorded them when the tape came out. Just as a bonus. Yeah, just something.
You're dealing with Evil Spell Records, and obviously you're dealing with Dying Victims and stuff. You guys are pretty young at this point. Are you three like looking at each other going, "Oh shit, man!" You're like, "There's actually something happening." Are you guys starting to catch on early that the band's name is starting to get out there a little bit, and that you guys are getting a little bit of appreciation, and now you're on a label, now you're having vinyl releases, etc.
Yeah, for me already when we sold some demos, it was already pretty unbelievable. Like we recorded that thing like in almost didn't manage to record it at all, and then people really liked it in fact. And like when we came to that show with Disaster, people actually knew our songs. That was the first time it happened to us, and they talked about the songs and knew stuff about the songs, and yeah, that was pretty cool.
Pretty insane, yes.
We mentioned the first attempt at recording is stolen from you guys, but you look back now, do you think that the second effort was I don't say better than the first one, but do you feel like it was actually a good thing that you guys had to do it again?
I don't know. The weekend together with Witchburner was very great. I
Absolutely.
wouldn't miss that. That was real fun. I don't know if the first recording sound, I don't remember it, but we recorded this playing together like a live recording and doing the vocals later on. And with Witchburner we recorded every instrument for itself. So it was two different types of recording the album.
Would be nice to have both.
Yes.
Like the Obsessed by Cruelty versions.
And someone probably has it somewhere, you know.
Maybe.
Yeah, someone probably has that thing. But next, you guys do a split, right? You got to record 3 more tracks, including a cover of Motorhead's Iron Fist for a 10-inch split. You got to split with Division Speed on Evil Spell Records.
Yes.
Yes.
And obviously, you guys are Motorhead fans and stuff. You know, Phil Campbell just passed away.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, it's crazy that, you know, a lot of those guys, Lemmy, of course, and, you know, Wurzel, it's just that the list goes on. But, you know, what can you tell us about that 10-inch? And was that set up through the label, through Evil Spell Records?
I think it was our idea because we were friends with Division Speed. Yes. And it was just rehearsal recordings. Actually, we got a new recording device, and yeah, we like trying it out and thought, why not do something with Division Speed, because they were coming up, like they had a demo out at the time, but yeah, they were still more or less forming the band, so that was a cool thing to do.
And you guys mentioned earlier, like, I think it was like 2007, the scene was kind of quiet, but, you know, you're getting to be like, what, around 2009 and stuff. Is the scene starting to change, the German scene?
There were there were a lot of bands coming at that time. I think it was evolving pretty good at that time.
Yeah.
Are you guys getting more venues also available at that time period?
Yes.
Yeah.
We played with Death Hammer in Pforzheim, I think.
No, we were at the show. We did play. Yeah.
Okay.
We were at the show, but yeah, there was some venues that did regular stuff, like not close to us, but still like, yeah, we were going everywhere by train, and like all the other people in the scene at that time, because everyone was like 19, 20, 21, and yeah, a lot of good bands coming up at that time, a lot of support from everyone. It was a very cool time.
And what, 2010 is when you guys go back into the studio to do the Past Midnight record, which is your second full length, and that's recorded at Toxo Music Studios?
Yeah,
Yeah,
correct.
that's right.
What can you tell us about that experience? And how long did you guys spend in the studio?
Oh, I think we recorded for a week.
Yeah.
The first day we arrived a day earlier than the recording start. The first day we didn't have a place to stay at night, so we slept in our cars, and
I think we had just one car.
maybe that's right, yes. The recording, I think it was really professional made. I think the quality is way better than Rise of the Desecrated. And it was, yeah.
Not stolen.
Yeah.
Luckily not.
Yeah. And at that time, at that time period, obviously you guys and Simon and Sasha, you guys been playing together for what, 3 years at that time period together. Does everyone have a hand in the writing at that time period? And and how is the chemistry with you guys?
Yeah, we always
2010.
wrote together. Just bringing riffs to the rehearsal room and then figuring it out together from there on. And that didn't change actually.
Chemistry was good at that time.
Yeah, I think maybe there were some tensions building up with the drummer at that time already. Like But
how did Simon get in the band?
Actually, me and Sasha met him at a youth club, just close to our home. There were like those youth clubs, and some were playing more punk music, some more metal, some other shit, and we went to this one that played punk and metal. And there was this guy, just I think he wore a Slayer shirt or something, and we got to talk to him and figure out that he's playing drums. So we invited him to come to our garage and try it out. And so he did, and it worked out.
And you guys, for the cover art for that one, you guys used Perversion from Necrodeath?
Yeah.
And do you guys have a say in the artwork for that record? Are you guys like sending ideas or songs or lyrics, or is it kind of just, give him the title and he runs off with it?
We had the
concept was...
Yes, concept was...
we had the concept in our heads and trying to
explain it.
Explain it as good as we could. And the whole idea was to get those John Sinclair covers, the vibe of that.
There was also a first version of the cover painted by another guy, but we weren't satisfied with it. So we told the owner of Undercover Records if he knows someone who can draw another cover, and then he came up with
Perversion.
So that's released on Evil Spell Records again on 12-inch and CD and tape, of course, through Dying Victim Productions again. 2011 that comes out. We're going to play a track from that now. We're going to play Barbed Wire Lust. Anything you could tell us about this one?
I think it's one of the most melodic tracks we have, or had at that time, especially. Catchy riff.
We're going to play Witching Hour, Barbed Wire Lust from the Past Midnight record that came out on Evil Spell Records 2011, and we'll be back on the Tampa Morgue after this track. That was Barbed Wire Lust from Witching Hour. 2011, you guys are doing shows with Attic, Bloody Vengeance, Black Salvation, Cruel Force, Rebel Razor. You guys are starting to see a lot of, is the live show starting to pick up at this time period? Are you guys starting to get offered better shows?
Yeah, for a while, until our drummer, oh no, yeah, doch, right. For a while we had some gigs, but then our drummer left the band, and then
Yeah, we have to cancel.
yeah, we had to cancel some gigs or one gig or something.
Yep.
And
Why did Simon leave the band?
Well, I think it was personal tensions, and he was evolving in another type of heavy metal than we are, and I think he also wanted to leave the region we're coming from, and I think it was one time we met to the rehearsal, and he said, "Yeah, I'm moving to Berlin, and see you, goodbye," and that was it, I think.
yeah, I think he was just in a different mindset and having his own issues, and yeah, just and you know how it is when you're 20 something. You're not talking about problems. You just
Escape.
yeah, just escape. Yeah, and he escaped to Berlin.
And do you guys look at Sasha and say, "Hey, man, you need to flip over to the drums"? Or is that kind of was that talked about? Or did you guys think about bringing somebody else in? Or
Yeah, we talked about, but I think we came up with going on as a three-piece, and Sasha said, "Yeah, I will take the drums."
Yeah, I think it was pretty fast. This a pretty fast decision, because he was always playing drums like in between rehearsals or after rehearsal, just to have fun. And he was always interested in it. And yeah, when our drummer left, when Simon left, I think we all were very not very optimistic about finding a new drummer in our area, because we wanted to continue rehearse on a regular basis and everything. So I thought, we thought just, why don't you play drums from now on? And he liked the idea, and he really got into it. And then we, like, I think for 2 years we just rehearsed and just tried to get him up to speed.
you guys took a couple years off of doing shows. I think you guys didn't play again until I think it was March 23rd, 2013 is when you guys play again. You guys also brought in another guitar player in 2012 named Philip.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Right.
How does he get involved?
He was a friend of mine, and he was often he came with us to concerts or drinking events, and yeah, so he was in our
in our circle of friends.
yes,
Yeah,
yes, that's what I want to say. So and then he couldn't play guitar, and
yeah, he was a bass player actually.
player,
He had another band where he
Oh.
played bass, but there wasn't so much happening with them. So we asked him, yeah,
yeah,
would you be
if he
interested
wanted
in?
to, yes.
Because we had to get to Sasha to get up to our level, or a level where we can continue, and so we thought, why not get a guitar, get a bass player that's not a guitar player. Why not get a guitar player that's not a guitar player, and yeah, do the same with him.
You get to do another show in 2013 with the new lineup. I mean, how exciting was that for you guys?
It was really cool. I think for all of us, just to play again and
Yes.
finally to get to
Getting back on track.
yeah get to play the past midnight songs as well. Was pretty cool.
And what was the first Witching Hour show outside of Germany? Because I know you guys played You guys played Live Evil Fest in 2015, but when is the first time you guys leave Germany?
Frankreich,
Maybe in France.
maybe Italy, maybe France or Italy.
No, Holland.
Yeah, Holland.
Tilburg, Holland was the first. I think even before the first album. In the demo, I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe
Not
it was
sure.
after the demo, before Rise of the Desecrated.
Yeah, in Holland.
You guys have this new lineup, and when you guys are doing that, or when do you guys start writing material for the 2014 EP?
Yeah, at that time, I think when we got together or when we were at the level that we could play live, I think we started to write songs again. Yeah, and then the EP got together.
When you guys are doing that EP, is Philip also throwing in on with writing too? Are you all four of you guys writing at that point?
Yeah.
Yes, he wrote the main riff of About a Curse of a Morbid Century. The verse riff was written by him. Yeah, I think he wrote other riffs too.
Yeah, he had some good ideas.
You put out that obviously the EP, the 2014, Where Pale Winds Take the High. You guys do that 6 tracks, and that's recorded in the winter of 2014.
Yeah. First, no, self-recorded again.
That it was a new rehearsal room that was built by a drum teacher. He bought his a house, a big house with a big cellar, and there he built rehearsal rooms for more than 3 bands, I think. But there were issues in playing too loud. We get rehearsal times. We were allowed to rehearse at 10 o'clock in the morning till 18 o'clock in the evening. And that was an issue for us because we rehearsed later than 8 o'clock or so. So we had to move out there. But before we moved out, we recorded the Where Parents Take Them High EP in that rehearsal room. Also by ourselves.
Yeah.
You guys put that out on vinyl, and also comes out on CD with Sun and Moon Records. How does that relationship start?
I think they just asked us if we were interested in doing something. And yeah, we wanted to have the EP out on CD because it was just released on vinyl when it came out. And then on that CD, there's also the demo again and the bonus tracks from the Dying Victims tapes and some other stuff. It's a nice compilation. It's more a compilation, but we thought just put the nice cover on front and then yeah, it's the CD version of the EP, but it's longer than any of our albums actually.
Now that time period, now it's you, Sasha, Phil. How is the chemistry with that lineup going into that? You know, because you guys are playing, then you guys are doing shows with Infernal Assault, Abysmal Grief, Pentacle, A Chapel of Disease. Is everything flowing good at that time?
Yeah, I think that was a good time period. We also got a better rehearsal room then. After a while, we were like floating in and out of rehearsal rooms for quite a while. And then when we got a good room again where we can play anytime, and that helped a lot. Yeah, for a while it went pretty good.
And then what, 2014, Philip leaves the band.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So why does he leave? And you know, I know you guys are having like live replacements after that. For some, you guys are using Slaughter of Cruel Fours, and then you guys have Winston of Midnight Prey filling in for you guys doing shows.
Right.
Yes. Max Power from
Attic.
Attic.
Yeah, basically, why did Philip leave the band? You guys also at that time period that you guys separate from Evil Spell Records, also correct? So I guess we'll start with Philip. Why did Philip leave?
I think more or less the same, like
Yeah,
with Simon.
Yeah.
Just personal problems, and that started to get difficult for the band because he didn't show up prepared for rehearsals, or just wasn't in the right mind to play music and do all the stuff properly. And then he said at one point, I can't do this. I have to sort out my own stuff first.
And how about the split from Evil Spell?
Oh, that was just, I think we signed for
3 albums.
we signed for 3 albums, and then after the EP, we thought, because there was some stuff we weren't satisfied with, and
Also personal issues.
yeah, maybe personal issues as well, but it just wasn't working anymore.
Yeah, I think we wanted to try another label to get forward, or
Yeah, just see what else
yes.
we can do, what's in the cards.
And you guys start doing demos, right? You guys go into, obviously, we'll talk about also Sasha's studio and stuff, but you guys start recording demos, and you guys record 3 tracks to shop around to labels at that point.
Yeah, right.
Yes, that's right.
And that's where They Walk Among Sepulchral Ruins comes from. And then you guys hook up with Hell's Headbangers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we sent the demo to many labels, and there were a few which show interest, but Hell's Headbangers was one of them, and I think they got the best offer, and we also liked the releases of Hell's Headbangers, so we chose Hell's Headbangers.
And
Yeah.
and I think that's pretty rare, man, that they usually, when people send in demos, Hell's doesn't pick them up. So it's
Yeah,
know,
I think as I remember, it was we didn't get an answer for the demo, and then Daniel from Nocturnal, who's a longtime friend of us, he said, I asked them if they want to do it. I'm in good contact because he had the Death Strike distribution and label and everything.
Yeah.
So he was in good contact with them, and also released some, I think, Front Beast with them, and maybe other stuff. And then he asked them, like, if I sent them the songs and if they're interested. And then they said, yeah, cool, why not? And I think they said, yeah, we don't listen to any demos. Sorry.
Yeah, I believe that's how they do it. Yeah, they usually don't, and you
So,
mentioned Nocturnal. We had Daniel Avenger on here. And
great episode.
yeah, we had Daniel on here. I think it was last year. Time's flying. But you also, this is the same year. What, 2016 is around the time period you start doing shows with them, live gigs, Marco?
With
Nocturnal. Didn't you fill in live for them?
I played for a year. That was 2018. I played
And in December 2018, you guys go into record and Silent Grief's Shadows the Passing Moon. And again, obviously with Hell's Headbangers, 6 tracks, and the band is a 3-piece at this time. And for you guys, is it easier to keep it a 3-piece and just have live guys to fill in for the shows?
Yeah, much easier. Yeah, after Philip left, we thought like, why not try it as a 3-piece? Because I was always also writing guitar riffs like on guitar, and at some point Philip couldn't follow, like he couldn't play what I wrote. And then when he left, we started writing songs again with me on guitar right away, so 2 guitars and drums, and we figured out the whole
Bass arrangement in the later on.
yeah, when the song was finished, we added bass and thought about what could the bass do. Yeah, and we liked that kind of process, and it worked for us. And so yeah, we had 2 pretty good guitar players that were happy to play with us. So yeah, why
Yeah,
not?
and they played on the album too, right? Kevin and Max played on As I Walk Among Sepulchral Ruins.
No, they have guest solos on Sorrow Blinds His Ghastly Eyes.
Okay. And that's the first album you guys also use the altered logo too, because you guys always had the logo with the upside down cross, which we talked about Pino doing the from Witchburner doing the logo for you guys. What made you guys change the logo design?
I think it was too childish at one point, too infantile. I don't know. Yeah, we wanted to have something a little more serious, a little more, a little better. Just like keep the logo, so you see it's still the same band. You know, the basic letters are the same, but yeah, it's just a little nicer.
You guys had an Italian artist do the album cover for that also?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
great, Paolo.
I saw that's killer cover. I'm going to play a track from that album too. I'm going to play Sorrow Blinds His Ghastly Eyes and Silent Grief. Anything you could tell us about this track?
Yeah, it has the solos of Max and Slaughter, and yeah, I think it represents the album pretty good. It's a speedy song, but still
Melodic.
very melodic and melancholic. Yeah,
And you mentioned Max and Kevin doing the solos on that. Is there ever a point where you guys think to add them to the band, or is it just better the way it is now with them doing the live shows?
Yeah, it's just better like it is now. Like they have their own bands. Max is pretty busy with Attic, but he's always very happy to play with us, and it's also a different kind of scene. More sometimes, like Attic is way bigger, so they play big festivals and tours, and with us it's underground gigs.
Have you guys done festivals yet?
Yeah, we've played festivals, but
not that much.
yeah.
You guys have a favorite festival that you guys have done so far?
Raging Death Date.
Yeah, Raging Death Date back in the day was great. Old Grave was amazing.
Oh yeah, Old Grave was very great.
Thrash Nightmare we played 2 years ago was super good.
Der Detze rockt.
Yeah, the Detze is cool in Germany. Dying Victims Festival.
Oh yeah.
Obviously. A lot of cool festivals actually.
Nice, man. I'm going to play Sorrow Blinds His Ghastly Eyes from Witching Hour, and we'll be back with the guys from Witching Hour after this track on the Tampa Morgue. That was Sorrow Blinds His Ghastly Eyes from Witching Hour. The last show before COVID you guys did, was that with Speed Whore in 2020?
Oh, good question. I don't remember.
Last
The
album.
last show before COVID.
I don't remember.
Me too. Yeah, let's go with the Speed Whore gig.
There you go. That was
You do your homework. You do your homework pretty well. So
So, but for you guys, man, what did COVID like just fuck everything up? Or you guys, I mean, everybody is screwed up. All the bands. I mean, I can't tell you how many bands had releases come out during that time period and stuff. And what effect did it have on Witching Hour?
Yeah, I think we also paused with rehearsing, and yeah, it was a quiet time. I think everybody was in his home working on riffs or lyrics, but yes,
yeah, actually, there was nothing happening with us.
Mhm.
Like there was no COVID writing phase where we had the time to find it because we have to be together to write, and yeah, that didn't happen. And yeah, there was in Witching Hour land there was not too much happening at that time.
pretty quiet. Yes.
Some bands, they trade the files and stuff. Are you guys a band that likes to be in the room facing each other,
Yes.
writing songs together?
Yeah. That's very important for us.
Yeah.
And are you guys more of a live band or more of a studio band, would you say? Like, what do you prefer? Do you guys like creating or do you like doing the shows?
I think that's difference from the person you ask. For me personally, I'm more into rehearsing than playing live because every time we play live, I'm a little bit afraid. That never went away. Some people told, yeah, you have to do this sometimes, then it goes away, but that's a lie for me. It's yeah. But I think Marco he likes more playing live.
I
What
like
you-
both
both.
for different reasons. I guess creating is always great when it works out. When you have a great song coming out, it's a great feeling. But there's a lot of frustration and yeah, a lot
Yeah,
of
it's pretty hard writing songs.
stuff. Yeah, until you're there, and that's sometimes very frustrating when you come with stuff you really believe in and get to the rehearsal room and just doesn't work and nothing's happening with it. But yeah, I like both.
Have
Live,
you guys?
but
Go
live
ahead.
playing is for me. That's why I have other bands with whom I play because there's not so much happening with Witching Hour. Yeah, it's just not enough for my taste. So I have to have other bands to play live with.
And you guys' first show back from COVID, was that August 20th, 2022 with Warlust? That's the first time you guys are back on stage?
In Kassel, yeah.
And how was that? After that time off, it had to be a pretty good feeling to get back out there.
Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was a very cool gig. Small venue, but it was well
Well visited. I think.
visited, and yeah, it was great to be back.
Yeah, for sure.
2022, you guys also play Paris. I think you mentioned that earlier with Death Hammer. We actually had Sergeant Solston on here. It was last year, I think. Awesome guest.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
heard that episode.
yeah, we had Sergeant on here, and you guys are back. You guys doing that. Is there certain bands that you guys love playing with where it's like more of a hangout? Like,
Yeah, it's always great to play with bands that we
No,
know for a long time, like Hellish Crossfire and Nocturnal. Yeah, a lot of good memories and good times.
what 2022 is when Zasha announces that he's opening up his studio, Journey into Eternity Studios. And what can you tell us about that studio? So I know you guys
Yeah.
recorded a new album there, which we'll talk about and everything, but, how is it how nice is it to have a guy that's in the band actually running a recording studio?
It's perfect. It's perfect. We always recorded like ourselves for some releases or just demos and stuff. But now to be able to do it properly and without any time restrictions and money issues, it's great, obviously, but it's also it can happen that recording takes 2 years.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that, right? 'Cause you
Mm.
kinda probably overanalyze everything now that you have the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, and it's also like it's not like it's urgent. You think, all right, yeah, let's do a song or half a song, and then let's do the rest the next time, and then you're just yeah. It's a very slow. It slows the process down, I guess, or did it for us. But it was a first proper recordings we did, like in the mindset that we want to do the album. So I think we really tried to do everything right. And yeah,
And then also, Marco, 2023, you start doing live bass with, Chapel of Disease.
yeah, yeah, right.
How do you get involved with them?
Yeah, we know them since since early on. They had the Infernal Death back then, and yeah, when we met at several concerts and stuff, and just kept in contact. And actually, the singer he recorded Silent Grief record. So yeah, we got to know each other a little more and just got along great. And when he decided to have a new live lineup, he asked me, and I was glad to help. And also the other guys in the band are from Chris and Yearn from Ketzer, which I know since like 2008. So it was a no-brainer.
Earlier, you guys mentioned, Old Grave Fest. You guys played that in 2023 also with, Razor, Angel Witch, Omen. That's you guys do that festival, and that's Romania. And you guys then next 2023, you also not begin the relationship with Dying Victims Productions because you've already done tape releases with them and stuff. But when do you guys decide that you're going to release the next record with them?
Pretty early on, even before we had all the songs ready for the record. It was when I think we talked about it right after we decided not to do the next album with Hell's Headbangers. And we know Flo. He's one of our oldest friends in the scene, and we know each other. We saw his label growing, and we see that he's doing very very good work. So and he's close to us, also geographically. So it just made sense to hook up with him.
Yeah, what was the reason for the departure from Hells? Just was time for a change? It just didn't, was it like what you mentioned, the geographic thing? Is it just easier dealing with someone that's in town?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's
pretty
it.
true. Yeah.
Well, for most part, I mean, they Hell's Headbangers, they did perfect work.
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing to complain about. But just sometimes it's hard to get the records in Europe. The distribution is not as as good as with a European label. And I think for us in America, there's not so much happening for now. So better, yeah, we thought better to go with a European label.
And this next record, this was you guys first announced that it was gonna be out in 2024? Was that the idea you guys had at first, was to release it a couple years ago, but you just took till 2026 to put it out?
Um, yeah, the idea was to finish it earlier. That's for
Yes.
sure.
I think the songwriting process from the album was a very long one. the recording process, was
Also
pretty
very
long.
long.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I remember like I see Flo on a regular basis, like every month or two on festivals and stuff. And yeah, he always asked me, yeah, what's it about the record when you finish and stuff. And then at one point he just stopped asking because he knew I couldn't give a real answer to it. But yeah, now it's finished.
So what is that? You guys like? Is it hard to get a final set like thumbs up on it? Like when you guys are in a room together, you three, is it like? Are you guys really, really hardcore on making sure it's like exactly how you want it? Like who? Like is there a certain guy who's like really difficult to give the thumbs up, or is it just the process?
yeah, it's the process, I would say. Someone came in the rehearsal room and says, "Yeah, I've got the idea of that riff," and he's playing it in front of the other two guys, and they say yes or no, or don't like this part of the riff, let's change it. And so it evolves. And I remember, I think it was a song of the Silent Grief record where we're nearly finished with that song, and everybody was listening at home to the song. And the next rehearsal, we tried to cancel the whole song and start from the beginning. And I think the process of writing for that song took a year or so. So it's yeah.
Yeah, I think it's at some aspects we are pretty all in one direction and know what we want. But yeah, some stuff is always difficult.
And you three, I've been together for like 20 years almost now. Me and Ed have played together for 20 years. We know how it goes. So I mean, is there like ever that you want to kill each other, but you still got that brother thing going on?
Yeah, at some point maybe.
Yeah, it happens, but it's just flashes of hatred, and then we love each other again.
Back to the pub, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, you guys, and then you mentioned obviously you guys played the 2024. You guys do the Dying Victims Attack Fest. You guys played Chechia, Thrash Nightmare Fest 6 with Protector. Also play with Necros and Seba in Munich. Then 2025, Marco, you're also doing live bass with the Night Eternal.
Yeah, right.
And how do you get involved with them? Is that just friends from the local area?
Yeah, same thing. Just friends for years, and then they were in need of a player, and there I am. Happy to help.
And then, obviously we'll talk about the new record, which is coming out on May 22nd, Descending Where Time Has Ceased to Exist. It's coming out on Dying Victims Productions, 6 tracks, 43 minutes. First of all, you guys got to be glad to get this record out.
Absolutely, yeah. The longest pregnancy.
8 years, right? Yeah. Are you guys trying to figure out the summer? How does your 2026 look when are you guys support this when it comes out?
Yeah, we have some gigs planned for now, but not so much. And yeah, let's see. We just wing it.
And the artwork, actually, Ed, the same artist Timble who did the new Monstrosity record for Ed did the you guys record cover too, which is a killer cover.
No, fuck yeah, it is.
Yes.
So how did you guys get to work with Timble?
Yeah, we were searching for a person who could draw in the style we wanted. We don't wanted any digital stuff, so we had to search for someone who can paint by hand, and there are not much people who do this. And we get to the homepage of Timber, and there are some paintings by him, where you can see that he is drawing by hand. And we liked also the colors he was using or he's using and the style of drawing. And so we decided to write him, and he said yes, he like to do it, and yeah, that's the story, I think.
And how long would you guys say you guys actually spent in the studio doing Descending Where Time Has Ceased to Exist? Like, if you had to say, like, how much time, just a general, that you guys actually spent in the studio recording this record?
I think if we had done it in a like classic fashion, from like everyday recording for 8 hours or something, at least 4 weeks, I guess. So it wouldn't have been possible in a studio that we have to pay every day, Never.
And for people who are familiar with Silent Grief, like, how would you explain this record to them, 8 years later with Descending?
I think everything Silent Grief does well, this album does better. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
longer songs,
cleaner, recorded in a cleaner way, better played.
better playing. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
You guys have a video too coming out.
We just did the video for the first.
Graves, Yearn for the Dead.
Yeah, that
Oh,
song.
okay, we're about to play that song actually in a couple minutes. So that's the one you guys did a video for, the Graves Yearn
Oh,
for
yeah.
the Dead.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just some atmospheric, like ambient recordings. No story, no story or us jumping around.
Yeah, some footage of graveyards and some lakes, I think.
Like a horror film where nothing's happening.
When you guys write lyrics and stuff, what is the concept for Witching Hour? Is it, how would you sum it up if you were going to tell someone who hasn't heard the band or read the lyrics?
I think that depends also on the person who writes the lyrics. For me, I would say for this album, Descending, I was inspired by the movie They Live by John Carpenter.
Oh.
One evening I was watching TV, and on a TV show they were showing the movie, and they showed in some facts about the film, and there it says that this film is based on a short story, and so I was, because I liked the movie, I was in search of that short story and read it, and I thought, yeah, that's great. It's short story you can make a movie about. So I have to try get the lyrics in that way that you can imagine you're reading that lyrics, and you have a movie in your head. That was for me the goal at this album, writing the lyrics.
Are you guys horror fans, horror movie fans in general?
Yeah. Old stuff in particular.
And you guys mentioned too with the painting of the album covers and stuff. Obviously now we're in a time period. I'm thinking in another 10 years it's going to be a million times worse. But AI, you're starting to see metal bands use these covers and stuff. And what's your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah,
Nothing to add.
yeah, it's pretty much.
It's a shame. It's a shame.
What I'm afraid of is that one day it's going to become like the norm, right? Like 10 years, 15 years from now, because people are just not going to want to pay artists anymore, which sucks. I mean,
yeah, but I think that those are the people that also would use AI for composing music.
yeah. Who do you think's going to be the first person busted for that? It's.
I think in art, AI has no use. I think art should be made by humans, not by computers.
especially with album covers. When we grew up, the album cover was a huge thing. I mean, I can't tell you again how many albums you pick up that you don't even know what it sounds like. You just see the artwork.
Yeah, for us, it's the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a thing. Even to this day, I'll even check out shit now that if I see the cover, I'm like, well, that looks like it should be decent. You know, it could be hit or miss, but and for Witching Hour, how important is the album covers?
It's super important.
Yeah, everybody knows the feeling when you search for a new record and you see the cover and think, wow, that must be a great album, so let's buy it. And that's the great thing also of an LP version of a record. You have the cover in big, and you can spend your imagines while listening to the music and watching on the record cover.
Yeah, it's just such a huge part of the whole album, and it sets the tone and the atmosphere and your expectations and everything is. It starts with the album cover.
This new record, Descending Where Time Has Ceased to Exist, you guys have a special edition on the vinyl coming out for the 12-inch?
Yeah, just a colored vinyl with a
Oh, you guys
patch.
just doing colored vinyl? Okay,
Yeah.
Yes, man. And anybody who wants to find any merchandise for you guys, do they go through Dying Victims, or do you guys have some too on the Bandcamp?
Yeah, we have some shirts at Bandcamp. We will make new ones now for the new album. Yeah, we're not so much into merch, but we always have something. So yeah, when the
And what
album is out, the new shirts will be available for sure.
are you guys doing a release show for this, or what is the next plans for the band?
Yeah.
No, we don't have any release show planned. I think we will go on with songwriting, try to figure out a new song, maybe rehearsing. Yeah, I think when the album comes out, maybe Marco, Sasha, and me, we go drink some beers or so.
Yeah,
Celebrate it.
To party.
That's
8
for sure.
years. Yeah, hopefully it's not another 8 years, right? I mean, oh man, we appreciate you guys coming on here. I'm excited to hear the new record out until May 22nd. But I know you guys have to be excited also.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Anything to do with Witching Hour? Where would you send them?
Yeah, Bandcamp, Facebook, Instagram. Yeah.
Cool. Well, we're gonna
Time shop. You get the record. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, again, guys, we appreciate it, and we're gonna play on the way out here. We'll say goodbye to you guys in a few minutes, but we're gonna play "The Graves Yearn for the Dead." That's on the new record. Anything you could tell us about this track?
I think it was the first song we wrote after Silent Grief.
Yeah, I think it was hard to write, like to get back into
the mood of writing.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's also another good representation of the whole album. It has something of all the aspects. Yeah. Classic Witching Hour lyrics, I think, about gravestones and old rotten graveyards.
Yeah, man. Well, we're gonna play that here in a second. On the way out, the last question, guys. What is the gear you guys are using these days?
On the album I played a Fender Precision, and over an Ampeg SVT Classic, just the usual suspects. And my guitar was a Strat into a self-built old Marshall style 50 watt that I built myself, and no pedals for the guitar.
Yeah, in rehearsal room, I use JCM 800 by Marshall, and a Friedman small box distortion pedal, some delay effects built by Marco, and guitar that I use is Gibson Flying V. And at the studio recording, I used also the Gibson Flying V, and I also recorded through the self-built amplifier by Marco. We just changed the speakers of the amp to get a different guitar tone, so that the two guitars doesn't sound the same. Yes. Sasha, I don't know which drum kit he uses.
He used the Pearl drum kit, and it's white, and that's about it. What it can tell you about.
Marco, are you building? So are you putting together gear, Marco?
Yeah, from time to time, I build. I started building. I'm an electrician by trade, so I started building effect pedals at some point, and then a friend of mine was building amplifiers, the guitar player of Cherokee, and I thought, okay, and he has no training in its stuff, so I thought, okay, maybe if he can do it, I can build an amplifier as well, because I always wanted to do it, but I never, I thought it was just too much, but then I tried, and it worked, and it sounds great, and it's all over our album. So
nice. Anything you guys want to say on your way out of here?
Thanks again, for having us. It was fun, and keep on the good work.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I hope we answered everything.
No, it was great, man. Hopefully I asked you everything correct too, man. And it's we're gonna play on the way out of here is The Graves That Yearn for the Dead. That's coming out on May 22nd on the record Descending Where Time Has Ceased to Exist. That's coming out on Dying Victims Productions. And again, guys, appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Anytime.
So this is Witching Hour with The Graves Yearn for the Dead. We'll be back on the Tampa Morgue after this track. And that was Witching Hour with The Graves Yearn for the Dead. And I want to thank Marco and Jan from the band for hanging out with us tonight. And Ed, episode 134 in the books.
134 and climbing, and they're coming rapidly. I can promise you that. They're coming.
That's right. Yeah,
we
man.
have we have them booked. We have them. We have a bunch of
signed,
people
sealed, and delivered.
Tied up in the shed, and we release them as we're ready. You know, we just feed them some bird food, and they're good. They're ready. Come on on. It's your turn.
It's the way we make things happen around here, man. But you know, we've been. I gotta say again,
ducks.
And everybody. Yeah, we have some loyal listeners too, and I just want to, say to you guys, thank you very much. We it's fucking killer that you guys actually like, this day and age where everyone has to see everything and be on YouTube and all this stuff. Like, it's awesome that people come to this kind of format that we do and listen. The numbers go up every day. We get the feedback from you guys. We appreciate it. So that's all I can say, because you guys are the real, like, if you guys didn't listen, we wouldn't do this, because, me and Ed we grew up doing this on the phone, talking about music all the time. This is just, a new way we've done this. So we appreciate everybody for checking it out, and make sure when you see Ed on the road, man, you bring him some drugs.
Yeah, do not do that. I'm a clean bird, man. I don't.
Ed's eating broccoli and doing squats. So
I don't know
that's
what
pretty
I'll be
much-
eating on this tour. Hopefully, the rider is as requested. The last time I remember walking in and it was gummy worms and fucking candy everywhere, and I'm like, and that was not good because I ate it all, man. Because of course, if you know anything, believe it or not, candy in Europe, while it's still bad, it is like a fraction of as bad as it is the crap that they sell here in the store in America. This time I told Lee, I remember we were doing the chat, what do you want on the rider? And I said, dude, we need like a vegetable tray, because you got to eat fucking somewhat clean. And then, Mark chimed in with, we need fruit too. And I saw Lee put up the UGG, and we were laughing because it's like, but I mean,
dude, how many times do you go on vacation for a couple of days and you feel like shit when you get back, right? Now, you guys are going out for almost 4 weeks, 20 shows, right? So, I mean,
yeah, so 23 days.
I mean, it's easy to feel like shit when you get back if you don't do things right.
Yeah, and if you've ever been on tour, you know the late night thing after you get off stage is pizza. I'm sorry, but it's pizza. And after 3 days of pizza, you're tired of pizza. So I started, it's funny, I always go back to the Binge and Purge or whatever fucking that was with Metallica, where Jason Newsted would say how they had a member of him filming himself making sandwiches and wrapping them up in something and taking it back to the bus. And what did he say? In the middle of the night when those dudes are hungover and hungry, I'm the one eating sandwiches while they laughed at me. And that's what I did. I would put skull and crossbones on that shit in the fridge and say, if you touch this, I will fucking murder you. Because that's what people would do. They would go eat my shit. And I would tell them, dude, if you touch this, I will kill you.
Well, Ed, from playing shows with me, I'd bring my own food, like nuts and these, I would always get made fun of by the guys because I would have like a bag of like, whatever, fruit, vegetables, or like, whatever because I can't go play shows and eat like a burrito beforehand and like just can't do it. It's just not in the cards.
Well, I remember it was actually when we got to Italy. We walked, it had to be a mile, to this grocery store. And this fucking place had everything. Like of course, it's a grocery store, but when you walk in, it's different than America. Like grocery stores in Europe are different than America.
Yes.
Like I went to an Aldi's our first day, and I'm like, oh, it's Aldi's. Well, that's where Aldi started, with Switzerland. And I walked in, and I'm like, this isn't Aldi's. Like they sold everything. Like it was like a regular grocery store. It wasn't like the Aldi's here. But we went in, and they had a whole section of nuts and dried fruit. And I remember Mark just bought all this dried fruit. And when we got back, he's like, dude, why haven't I eaten this sooner? Like, this is fucking awesome. And I'm like, yeah, it's called healthy, dude. I mean, you're eating healthy foods. And we bought a bunch of healthy shit and took it back to the bus. And, we have a refrigerator on the bus. Just mark it that it's yours. And, and like dried fruit you can keep in your bunk. You don't have to refrigerate it. So you can eat healthy. You just have to, because we plan on going to gyms, and every time we go to a gym, I can tell you how many times we've walked by a store. So it's just a matter of going in the store. They take credit cards and they'll convert, just buy yourself. If you can eat healthy, if you say you can't, you're full of shit.
It's just about discipline, I think. It's not easy to like make those choices at like 11 o'clock at night. And you're lucky because you don't, you're not a drinker and stuff like that. But once you start having some beers, then the food starts getting a little
crazy. Like pizza, you can eat pizza.
Start making bad choices,
Yeah. Well, I don't drink normal coffee, as you know. I drink bulletproof coffee. So I put butter, coconut oil, and I've been thinking, how the fuck am I supposed to do this? Like I'm gonna have to find because I requested a blender or a bullet, blender on the tour so that I can make coffee. And some people are like, well, that's a little bit extreme. Well, that's the life I live. I'm not asking for somebody to bring a home gym and set it up every night like fucking Metallica would. I need a fucking exercise bike and
An oxygen
if
tank on the side of the stage to crawl behind the curtains, and
it's literally just a simple request. Where can I buy butter and where can I buy coconut oil? I can deal with the rest.
I say it's time to say goodbye. What do you think?
Now it's time to say goodbye.
See, Ed's
I was
warming up for the tour. You see,
Yeah.
there you go. It's a behind the scenes, little deal. Actually, Ed, it would be cool if you brought your acoustic guitar on here one day and you can serenade everybody with some of the new Monstrosity tunes.
You want them to fall asleep? Because that would definitely happen.
Yeah, but nah, dude, I definitely will have one more episode before you leave town, and that'll be the next one. And our guest will be Transylvania from Austria on that. And Ed, where can they find us?
Oh goodness, you'll find me in Europe. You'll find me the show. Yep, Spotify, Apple, anywhere there's podcasts. We do put it on YouTube, even though it's hit or
We do no
miss.
video. We get no traffic.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you know what we need to do is start putting the clickbait titles up that
Fuck
Tony's
yeah.
wearing a ball gag, and they'll
Yeah,
fucking
fuck
I want to
yeah.
see it.
Which
And
is
then they'll be like,
true.
wait a
I
minute.
mean, which is
Well, yeah, but the thing is, they'll come on and go, wait a minute. There's no fucking
Yes.
video. How do we see him wearing the ball gag? But
exactly.
yeah, the thetampamorgue at gmail.com for correspondence. Definitely Instagram. And like I said, when I'm over there in Europe, it will be easier for me and Tony to do. Hopefully I could pull a couple guests just to do a quick talk.
Even for 5 minutes, man. Obviously, we're not going to
Yeah.
do the old deep dive, but
And I'm thinking we were talking about maybe getting Mark on. Maybe that's the way we'll do Mark. Is
I do want to have, even if Van Earp is on here for a couple minutes, man, we got to get
well,
him to come hang
I'm
out.
thinking if we do it on Instagram, we can always upload it here to play if people want to catch it later.
Yeah.
If you didn't catch it on Instagram, but because that'll be easier. Because obviously, when we do the show, me and Tony have specific mics we use and headphones, so it's hard to get a guest on the side because I don't know how that would work. But as far I could always set somebody up in another room on their phone and make it work. So we could pull one on the fly. Who knows if it's big enough and we can make it work? We'll do it. I mean, I'm not against it because we pre-record this shit anyway. But for sure, we're gonna do some Instagram stuff in the next few weeks, just because I'm gonna be playing some cool shows, and I don't know who's
why
gonna be in
not,
these
yeah.
venues. So it might be. I know the first venue is a festival, so who knows? Maybe I'll pull Barney or somebody from Napalm Death, Shane Embry.
Do
You know
it.
what I mean? I've met them both before. They're cool guys. Maybe I'll pull one of them and do a quick chat.
And anybody who listens, the transcripts we have nothing to do with those. They're all incorrect. Someone mentioned this to me again, that the transcripts, come out totally crazy. But yeah, we have no control over that shit. I actually wish they wouldn't even be show up on the phones and stuff like that. But so anybody who's reading the transcripts and seeing it, we have a lot of people that speak different languages on here and have accents. So I don't even,
Yeah, the accents, from what I understood, the accent or the pause with the accent throws off the because I watch even on YouTube sometimes I'll watch in a video and the guy says dick and not talking about his dick, but he'll say the word dick and it completely puts another word. I don't know if it's because they think it's a curse word or I don't know.
Yeah,
but it's weird. Sometimes I'm reading, I'm like, that's not what he said. So I
sometimes
wind up
people will
turning that
tell
shit
me.
off.
They'll be
I
like,
turn
"Oh, I
that
read the
shit off.
transcripts. It's fucking crazy." I'm like, "Yeah, we have nothing to do with that.
Yeah,
Like, we don't sit and fix that.
That's
like,
done
so,
through AI. That's
yeah,
all
we have
AI
nothing
now.
to do with that shit." So
Yep. But yeah,
yeah, so the TampaMorgue at gmail.com. And like Ed said, anywhere you listen to podcasts, you can find 133 past episodes to fill your time. And and there's some long episodes in there. So yeah. Ed, let's get the hell out of here.
let's do it.
Everybody will be back with Transylvania next week. The show before Ed hits the road. And yeah, thanks again for listening. Peace.
See ya.
This is King Fally from Deceased, and you just listened to another episode of the Tampa Morgue. Tune in next week and stay fucking dead.